Welcome to It's Black or White. And today, here with Brandon John, our friend, who we decided to do this program in English. So, based on our friends outside the country that have been asking what's going on in Colombia, what's really going on, what is it, the impact of this regimen that we have right now in power. So our friends outside Colombia, your friends in Europe, in North America, can have a better view picture of what's going on. So the idea of doing this program in English is because of that, because of those friends or followers that require some true information. And with Brandon, we will have no coffee with Brandon today. There's no coffee. But we're going to have this conversation, black or white, upon the today of Colombia, the today of the world, the impact of this globalism, of the new order that is implementing different economic politicians, and of course the influence of socialism with the narco traffic in the societies. So Brandon, welcome again to Black or White,
Thank you.
and let's have this conversation and release something important for our audience in terms of what's going on, especially from Brandon, that is an outsider, is a player from a different country, from Ireland, that has seen the different politicians' sides that it also occurred in your country. You went through a very terrorist moment,
Yes.
and not similar to what we're living now, but more or less politicians agreements for the terrorists. That can give us from the past an overview of what's going on here today. So you told me at the beginning, before behind cameras, let me talk today.
Yes. I'm from Armagh City in Northern Ireland. In my life growing up, we were exposed to many examples of violence, hatred, destruction, and despair. And there was a point in my county, the county of Armagh, where there were a series of wicked and dastardly massacres. There was an incident in Colombia with the massacre of Bojaya. And after the massacres in Ireland, I penned a work that I called The Answer to Our Prayers. Now, I don't have the sanction to prove this, but for some people that turned out to be a blueprint, like a roadmap for peace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it was used in that way. Okay, maybe someone will actually come out one day and say this is actually true. Because I know I went with this manuscript, okay, on the 21st of December of 1991.
1991.
Yeah, in Belfast, to bring this to the media as a plea for peace at Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Well, strangely, there was a ceasefire at that time, which was a very important advance in the situation of Northern Ireland and the polarisation and the total sectarianism of Northern Ireland and the segregation of politics, the total polarisation. And that was interesting because after this massacre aquí in Colombia, in Bojaya, I brought my manuscript to a friend. This friend was the general manager of a printing group here in Bogota, Union Gráfica. His name was Jose Antonio Jaramillo Perez. And I said, this is my manuscript of peace from Ireland. Now, Ireland came to a peace agreement. Okay, obviously a lot of problems with this and a lot of difficulties involved in this, and there are still difficulties even now. Yeah, and there's a part where there's a very real possibility of this peace process unraveling again in Northern Ireland. Hopefully it doesn't. Yeah, especially after the Brexit and the problems that have been caused by Brexit.
What would be the cause to go back to those terrorists?
It's a total disaster. Okay, actually, when you talk about this, the organizations are still there. Now, they talk about paramilitary organizations. Okay? You're talking about IRA, you're talking about UDA, you're talking about UVF and Red Hand Commandos and different things. Yeah. Those groups are still
Active?
existent and active. Now they're not active with, okay, now recently there have been some incidents where there have been shootings, okay, bombing attempts and different things. Now it's like, it's almost at the point where anything could happen from here. Bringing this back to Colombia, after this massacre in Bojaya, I brought this manuscript to this dear man. And I said, this is the manuscript of the work I penned in Ireland. I never was able to produce it as a book because I brought it to the point it was camera ready artwork for the printer to do this. But after an incident, I had to revamp this, I had to reword this, I had to rewrite this. They called this a total rewrite, and my savings were completely gone. And I wasn't able to do it. So I did, I was on a typewriter with a priest in Carshalton in England on a typewriter and a photocopier, and we made little folietos. I went to Belfast that 21st of December 1991 with a black bin bag with all of these folietos, and I was trying to distribute this all over the place and say, hey, let's do this or something. Anyway, I went to this gentleman and I said, okay, this is my manuscript of peace, the Book of Peace of Ireland, okay? This is what I called it, okay? And he said, hey, okay, let me look at this. I actually had this translated by friends who were actually known to him, so for that reason he said, okay, I accept to see this, or read this, yeah? He read this and he said, hey, this is what we need. This is what we need in Colombia. We need peace in Colombia, yeah? So, this was strange. So, in the fall of 2001 here,
Okay.
10 years later, yeah, we started on a process with this. Okay, so he read this and he said, hey, this is great, this is what we need. Okay.
But was put on the side, or
No.
where did that manuscript end?
Wait. I have a copy just here. Okay. I went back to him and I said, this is great. Now, this is really so good, we could do something with this. I think it's great, sir. Okay. So we can print this, yeah? Absolutely. We can put this into print and we can do some copies of this. So we said, okay, let's talk about money. Okay,
The cost of printing?
Yeah, the cost of printing. 1,000 copies, 2,000 copies, 5,000 copies, 10,000. And this is the price. And this is really, this is so funny. I said, okay, yeah, let's do this, but I've got 200,000 pesos in my pocket, okay, on a promise. I so deeply believe in the Lord Most Holy, okay, so And when he asks me to do a job for him, I do it without even thinking about it. Okay, I just do it and that's it. So I got 200,000 pesos in my pocket and a prayer and a promise. Okay? Give me a figure and I'll pay every single penny of this figure. It doesn't care, it doesn't matter what happens. I'll pay it. I'll pay the whole amount of money to you. He said, yeah, I believe you. But this is a family business. Okay? And I have to bring this to my family. I know what they're going to say. Okay? But I need to bring it to my family. Okay, so if you want, I will do it. So I said, yeah. So he brought this idea to his family. And obviously the decision was, come on, be serious. Yeah? This is a business. Okay? 200,000 pesos to start a business. So I went to speak to him again, and he said, yeah, I spoke to my family, and they said, no, thank you very much, the idea is fantastic, we believe our brother, okay, he's the general manager of this, okay, and he's so good for us, we totally trust in him. But this is a family business, and that's a crazy idea. But you know what he said? I'm the general manager here, and I actually believe you. Give me the 200,000 pesos, sign this contract, okay? This is the cost of 10,000 copies. So many millions, whatever, I don't remember, 10, 12 million, whatever, okay? So, and we started this. But I said, hey, wait, before we do this, there is something I need to say to you. The life of someone could be involved in this, because this is not just a book of peace. This is a book of goodness against darkness. Okay? Let's be straight about this.
Black or white?
Yeah, pure and simple. Yeah. And he said to me, "Tranquilo, no one knows you here. There's no problem here. Don't worry about it. It's okay." So I received the very first copy of this, the first printed copy of this, on the 21st of December, 2001. 201, yeah. Now in all the months that followed after that, I was like putting copies into people's pocket. No, this is the book of peace, and this, okay, I want you to sow the seed of peace in your family, in your home, and let's do this in your country. 2,793 copies or something. I thought this was a bestseller. Yeah. There'd be 3,000, 4,000 pesos just to cover the costs of this. Yeah, it wasn't like a business or something. So, you won't believe me. On the 7th of August of 2002, the day of possession of Dr. Alvaro Uribe, mortar bombs were falling all over Bogota. One of those mortar bombs exploded and took his head off. He lost his head, mate.
Who, the editor?
Jose Antonio Jaramillo.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I was working that day and I didn't know, and I went back to my home, and my partner, she said to me, excuse me, I've got some bad news for you. Yeah? And I said, what's the bad news? What happened? The man who printed your book is in the hospital seriously ill right now. He's fighting for his life. Actually, he was dead because it blew half his head away. Can you believe that?
In the possession of Alvaro Uribe.
Yeah.
Those bombs that were sent to the palace.
Yeah. A few days, a week or something after this incident, okay, because I felt it was uncomfortable, so I didn't go on the day I was supposed to go. I went with another million and a half of what he was, okay, to give to his brother, to give to somebody in the family, yeah. And his brother said to me, and tears in his eyes, he says, my brother died. This se caducó. I mean, this is finished already. I said, no, not with me, because I didn't do this with your brother. I did this with my boss, the boss. Okay. And he took it, but no, don't please don't come back. Don't hurt us with this. No. Yeah. So
that was the end of the manuscript?
No, that was the end of me going there to give them money. He said, no, stop
For
this,
publishing.
please, yeah, yeah.
So it was not published any longer? It
No,
was-
no, I had all the copies,
Oh, you had it all?
yeah. But then something happened. I was in an incident in the place where I was living.
And where's that book now? Where's?
That's out of print now.
But is it in the libraries or?
No.
No?
I was doing this personal through some selected libraries.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, or bookstores or something.
It's not a book that you can go and find and read.
Not at this time. I would really like to do it again. This time, my Spanish is much better than it was that time.
Okay.
Yeah, and maybe I could put some more sentiment into this or some more content that wasn't.
And the message, the main message in the book was what?
Peace.
Learning about the peace process or peace by itself.
Okay, the process, yeah. I in the English version of this, I spoke to all of the characters involved in this.
Okay, terrorists,
Yeah, everybody.
justice,
Yeah,
terrorists,
yeah,
everybody.
The media, the Friends of Ulster, okay, the armed conflict actors, yeah, the politicians, the civic leaders, the community leaders, everybody.
Joshua's, everybody.
Yeah, it was like sort of, hey, this was my personal feeling on this.
Okay.
And seeing this in such a way that, hey, there's a map here, there's a road map here.
And do you think that that map it applies now to what's going on in Colombia?
Ooh, the situation has changed considerably here.
To better, to worse, to
It's gotten
similar?
It's gotten much worse. Yeah.
much worse?
Yeah, they're okay. When people talk about talk about peace and total peace. Total peace is okay if everyone has peace from this. Yeah, if every element is involved in this, if every group has a representative place in this process, with the exceptions of none. And what happened with this peace agreement that appeared in Colombia back in 2016? Yeah.
That more than it was a pact.
Yeah. But at the same time, it left many people not represented. It left many people who didn't have some. Okay, we need to have an opportunity. Okay, for someone to say, okay, yes, I was involved in this. I did this. Okay, I assume
The truth.
Yeah,
The truth.
obviously.
But
So
well, in that moment, it was more like a politician
Yeah.
opportunities action.
Yeah. To me, it was a settlement. It was an arrangement.
Yeah, it was a pact. Yeah,
Yeah.
a commercial pact.
Yeah. Let's just
For
say
narco traffic, for many things that
obviously.
that you can see how it reflects now
Yeah.
in our inside politics.
Yeah.
And actually in the power that all these terrorist groups have overcome in today's Colombian situation because of those agreements. But going back to your book or to the point of view about peace, and something very important that Brandon is bringing up is if everybody is not involved, no way of getting into a peace agreement. But who decides who is involved?
Okay, for example, I'm going to use one. I know a lady whose husband was a military member who was assassinated, yeah? Yeah? I know some people who were actually in the cages in the jungle, these
Prisoners?
concentration
Camps.
like
Yeah.
cages for years. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I know, for example, just talking about the family of Jose Antonio. Yeah? This was a gentleman, a total gentleman. He was married to a lady from Medellin, beautiful lady. Had 5 kids, a pair of little, like, twins, little girl twins or something. They were only kids when this happened to them. And the whole family was blown out of this world. Yeah? Even today, they haven't recovered from this. No one has ever spoken to them. No one has ever taken their testimony. Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Ignored.
Yeah, totally ignored.
Ignored.
Now, okay, you talk about your truth commission or something. I can wait a moment. If anyone is discarded from this, rejected from this, neglected from this, yeah, misrepresented in this, that's not total peace. And there's no way you can have total peace.
Well, total peace, the expression of total peace in Colombia now is a fachada of a big scene of a main show. You can call it a show to let's see under it is the reality of that show. Narco traffic is the main player here, and you can see now getting out of jail, getting immunity to prisoners, to criminals, in order to become what they call gestores de paz. That's what can you call it? You didn't have that in Ireland, right? You didn't have that show.
No, people went to jail.
You confronted them into justice. Yeah, the issue in Colombia is that none of them have been confronted into justice.
Yeah.
They tell that the commission of the truth is a total lie. So they painted a different story, which is not true. And you're talking about Oaxaca, for example. And 2 weeks ago, one of the criminals said that was a show done to put against the army, the name of the army, and they were involved, fictitious involved, so they can blame the army for their acts. In Colombia now, and that is one of the point of doing it in English, so our friends outside Colombia see the reality, the European community, which is blind upon what are now guerrillero goes and talks there and speeches of non-truth reality, right? You can call it that way. And the community, the European community, which is fighting itself for the United of Europe against socialism and non-socialism, the impact of Russia in Ukraine, the different aspects of international war or international conflicts, which in Colombia, we don't want to see that aspect, that it really involves Colombia. It's an effect, impact of what goes on around the world impacts Colombia today. We cannot be blind, Brandon, about the narco traffic. That's the fuel. That's the oxygen of all this crisis going on, not only in Colombia, in the world. Narco traffic, prostitution, the traffic of persons, the traffic of kids, the organs, all that are mixed in this conflict that it is ruling society. So, going back to your book, in terms of peace, how do we end this? How do we abolish? I don't know. What could be the word?
Okay.
Like Singapore did? In 10 years they cleaned the country?
Okay, wait.
Is that a way?
Wait. I don't know what the final result of this would be, but I know what the start of this could be.
Where to start or the start?
Yeah. Wait. There was a point in Northern Ireland as well where the massacres were so bad. Yeah, this was like a powder keg. Yeah, at any moment this would explode. Okay, and I mean the deaths are everywhere. This was like a cauldron. Yeah, yeah, and it came to a point. Okay, now one thing you can say about the politicians and all, at least at that time, things have changed. They've become contaminated as well. They've become okay. Let's be straight about this. Let's be honest about this. When you're honest in everything, not just this selectively and this.
Right.
Yeah.
This
No way. if you give your word to do something, do me a favor, just please do it. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So if you give your word to do something, do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Not so I've got a little arrangement here, I've got a little arrangement here. Come on, be serious with me. Now, this is where, in Northern Ireland at that time, there was a will, at least amongst the politicians. Yeah, there were some of them. They wanted to advance. Now, this is interesting, because there's a parallel here. The armed groups,
Mm-hmm.
okay, the paramilitary groups, IRA and UVF and UDI, they were looking for, they had two strategies. They had the strategy of the Armalite and the ballot box.
Okay.
And they decided they would go further using the ballot box. Yeah? Similar to what's happening in Colombia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And they're doing the same strategy as well. But they're still executing people. They're still bombing people. I'm going back 23 years now. I can see exactly the same happening now
The same story.
as 23 years ago.
The same story.
Yeah. And people say, no, okay, so where? Aye, please, wake up already. This is your country, and this is your problem. Okay, and the narco traffic is a problem because, okay, it exists because of a reason. These armed groups, they exist because of a reason. They're growing in space all over your country for a reason. Because you, me, you, everyone, have not stood up and say, hey, that's enough. Yeah, stop this. Yeah, enough already. And maybe if millions and millions of people actually go out on the street, yeah, enough of this. Enough of this. No more violence. That's it. I'm finished with this. And I'm prepared to say, stand up and say, okay, this stops here.
Do you see an opportunity for that moment of that's it? Enough is enough?
Colombia has a recognized population by consensus of something like 50, almost 55 million people. Okay, maybe 5 are outside, yeah. But 50 million people here. I would imagine of those 50 million people here, the vast majority of them really want peace. They want to see their country grow. They want to see the economics of this country correct. They want to see the politics of this country correct. They want to see the organization, administration, and governance of this country correct. Well, now there's a big opportunity for that on the 29th of October to choose wisely and to choose correctly. But even before that, like this little child, this happened 2 days ago. Just the other day, a little child was caught in the crossfire. Dissident FARC groups or something were fighting with the military, yeah? And the child was caught in the crossfire. How can you blame the military for that? The military are the defenders and the protectors of the state and the population of this country, the citizens of this country. They're defending you.
Mm-hmm. Defending not to be blamed.
Yeah. Now, sometimes things go wrong. When they go wrong, someone has to pay the price for that. Excuse me, that's okay. I accept that. But these are citizens. These are citizens of your country as well. These are the protectors of your state. The constitution and the population of your state. They're protected. They're your protectors. And they're being slaughtered now as well.
Mm-hmm.
They're being viciously slaughtered now. And there's an opportunity for you to protect them and to protect you and to protect your country and say, that's enough already. Stop this.
Do you see that moment coming?
Yes.
Or we need more
No. Yes.
of this?
No. Yes. No. Do we need more of this? I please God no. I hope not.
We hope not.
I think I really. Okay, there is a situation here. Colombia is a young population now. Majority young population now. Maybe they don't know what happened 20 years ago.
Oh, for sure they don't. For
Yeah,
sure.
10 years ago. And I mean, and this is where the media has a part to play in this too.
The influence.
If they're being honest about this, yeah, they will honestly and correctly represent the modern history of this country without hiding anything. Yeah?
The truth.
Without working for certain interests or something. Now we're talking about objective media here.
That we don't have.
Well, yeah, maybe it's time that we had. Yeah.
It's time for us
Yeah.
to start.
It's time we had objective media. It's time we had correct governance. Politicians who actually understand what they're supposed to do in this world with a little bit of honor.
Not ambitious.
With a little bit of honor.
Yeah.
Aye, please.
But it's our time to talk, to bring up the truth,
yeah.
and to tell all these things that are really happening.
Yeah.
The importance of today conversation with Brandon is for that, to give you the one reality of the moment, political, economical, and terrorist moment that Colombia is suffering. That's the truth.
Yeah.
That's the truth, that we're involved in a catastrophic situation. We're Sodoma and Gomorrah, right? Could be compared.
In every way. We're talking about light and darkness here. Okay?
Mm-hmm. And the worst part, Brandon, sorry, is that we need to identify who is in the light and who is in the darkness. The players have to be identified.
The people who viciously murder, destroy, and damage lives, properties, and businesses.
And country.
These are not people of honor and faith and love and light. I think it's time now that Colombia started to identify.
In which side we're on.
Yeah. Where you really do stand here. Okay? Or you defend life, liberty, love, and light. Or you are effectively permitting darkness, destruction, death, and the work of the devil. We're talking about demonic activities here. They don't care about you. They don't care about anything. Now when we talk about demonic things, we're not just talking about Colombia. We're talking about a global problem here. No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And everyone knows about this new world order and where they want to go with this. Now, if there were someone like the Lord who was here, who is beyond all darkness and all badness, yeah, maybe we could do something together. All the world come together, but under the conditions that are being proposed by these global elements of 2030 or something, this new world order where they want to destroy what is the natural order and organization of things and destroy values, like real values. I don't think so. It's time to decide now. And this decision is not for next week, next year,
This is now.
This is now.
This is now. Well,
Enough already.
well, our friends, as we have come to an end, and today, black or white, it's a different topic. It's a reality of what's going on,
Yes.
and you're more than welcome to come and next time we'll have coffee. Don't worry about it.
Thank you.
We'll have coffee with Brandon again. And for today, amigos, this is something that is really going on. as Brando says, is we're either on the dark or on the light. And we have chosen to be on the light. On the light to power you to overcome this situation and be on the light side. A goodbye to them.
I would like to say something. The world as we know this, there have been battles, always battles. There are battles even today. But there are some battles that have no justification, okay, in any way, shape, or form. They are not just. They are not correct. They are not right. There's a battle now for you to fight. And this is with honor and dignity and words and faith. This battle is right. You don't need arms for this, only these arms. Yeah? But this is the battle, maybe the final battle. And this is a battle of right. Right for you, and right for your neighbour, and right for your country, and right for this world, maybe. Let me just finish by saying, God bless you. God bless all of you. It doesn't matter if you have a religion or you don't. God bless you. However you interpret this figure of God, God bless you, and God bless your country, and God bless this world. And thank you.
Thank you very much, amigos, and to our next program. Thank you, Brando. Thank you. Have a good one. Bye-bye.